I wasn't bullied anymore while I'm in school since Kevin taught me how to fight. I got into some skirmishes here and there, but I liked the respect I was getting. I felt like I was a part of the Brit City Boys, but my mama kept me in the house and I had to sneak to go outside and I lived that shelter life sort of. My mom was getting a lot of the attention to my little brother and I was getting a lot of the attention, but little brother's a baby and I was kind of salty because of that. I was getting numerous of butt whoopings because I was staying out late going to the store and I was sneaking to Claiborne Gardens to see my crush, which her name is Nikki. My mom signed me up with the Big Brother Little Brothers program and I had a big brother named Russell and but he tried to be a father figure as my mom dating this one doctor. The only thing cool about having a big brother, Russell, was he had two daughters that were fine. He was really strict on them though. Russell and I big brother, little brother relationship kind of dwindled away, and anybody that my mom tried to date, I ran them away because they wasn't my father. My father came down and visit. I couldn't believe it. He came down and visited, and I found out that I had a little sister. She was 7 years old. I was like, wow. I really wanted my mom and father back together. That little time they spent together for that week they was there was cool, and spending time with my little sister was awesome too. When my father left, that hurt because I was building with my sister and I was bonding with my pops, but I really want to spend more time. But before my father left, he said he was going to send for me for the summer to spend time with him in Chicago, and I couldn't believe it, so I had to wait to see if that was going to happen. And it happened. I spent time with my dad. I made it to Chicago. It was a fun experience, but learning about my father. Now back to the story. My father lived in a nice neighborhood. He had a nice four-bedroom house. It was awesome. Two-car garage. It was a nice neighborhood. But the neighborhood surrounding where my dad lived was bad. But the neighbors were great. The kids were great. The neighbors across the street was great. Turns out the block committee didn't like my dad being on the block because of the activities that my dad had going on. My dad ran like a whole house. It's crazy. My dad had women from the ages of 20 and 30 coming in and out the house, having sex with men. It was wild, yo. Real wild. My dad worked with the city as a city engineer for the city of Chicago, making good money. But he had that extracurricular life. My dad had a best friend who was cool. They were like two peas in a pod. And he had a little son that I was cool with, Man. There was a neighbor across the street named Mr. Hardy. He didn't take no crap off of nobody. He had two boys and two girls that I had a crush on one of his daughters. Like Nikki, I didn't know how to speak to her and show her that I want to talk to her. I'm here in Chicago trying to get with Janice or Maria. I didn't know how to approach girls, didn't know what to do, what to say or anything. And when we did have a conversation, I'd run back in the house because I didn't know what to do. The kids on my dad's block, some of them were in gangs, some of them dealt with school, played sports, but it was a cool, diverse community. I liked it. The fun thing about it, my dad gave me freedom I can come in even when it's dark. So I stand outside, I'd be playing, we'll run to the park, play basketball. It's fun. My dad had concern because I was always running from girls because I didn't know how to communicate to them like I wanted to communicate. So my dad was like, boy, come here. There was this lady named Sheila. She was in her late 20s and I was about 11. And my dad told her to have sex with me. He told her to have sex with me and make me a man. So we went to the back room and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But it happened and I was shocked. After it happened, I was shocked because I didn't know what I was doing, but he said not to say nothing to my mom. So that whole rest of the summer, I was riding on cloud nine. And towards the latter part of the time spending with my father, I started hanging around some people on another block who were gangbangers, and I learned a lot about that too. Time to go home, and I didn't want to go home, so make that flight back home. Got picked up from the airport. My mom said, "How's my summer?" And what I say was, well, I messed around, told my mom I had sex with a grown ass woman. Woo! She called my dad snapping. They got into an argument, and I don't even know what happened after that. I know I wasn't getting calls from my dad, wouldn't get no letters from my father, and if my father was trying to contact me, my mom would talk bad about him, and all this other darkness was going on. So that will cause ripples in between my mom and I, and it was just a lot of drama. Then I start disliking my little brother, taking it out on him. Like I said, my little brother's innocent. I love my little brother. I was just letting out frustrations and anger, but I had my cousin JJ to talk to. My cousin JJ and I were like brothers. We were like brothers, inseparable, him and I. We're funny. We did a lot of things together, laughing and everything. I like spending time with JJ because he had a little bit more freedom than I did. He can do things, but I couldn't do. But Auntie was still strict though. I have another auntie named Peaches. She's the one that was like my mom. She's the one that gave me all type of freedom. So I used to love going by my auntie house and doing all kind of stuff. My mom and my aunties used to go at it all the time when I was young, fighting and things and such forth. You know, the sibling wars. It was funny to see that when I was a kid. Now, my dad done created a monster now. Now, since I had some pussy for the first time, I want to fuck more. So now I'm messing around with a lot of girls now. I got confidence. With my newfound confidence and my newfound love for fighting, that still didn't win Nikki over. And I really wanted her, though. Living in Normandy apartments in Bridge City was crazy because all the stuff that was going down with the drugs and the fighting and my mom being raped and all that silly stuff that went down. My grandfather passing away was tremendous to my family, and just a lot of things going down in Normandy apartments to the point where my mom got frustrated because our crib got broken into, and after that we moved to Alabama. And that's chapter 4. There's a lot of drama between my mom and I. And she tore a notebook with my stories in it because I want to take a story with me because I like writing. The end of chapter 4. Chapter 5 will be tomorrow. Be on the lookout for Hoodview Mirror, Misunderstandings of Dino Wells.